Next up is a match for the NWA national title. Terry Taylor is going to be defending against Buddy Landel, who's also managed by JJ Dillon. The finish would see Terry Taylor hit Landel with a forearm, and that sets him up for the superplex. But Dillon would trip Taylor to cause Landel to fall on top for the 3 count, and he gets the win and the championship. But he's not long for this world. I think Jim Crockett Promotions winds up firing Buddy Landel just a few weeks after this. And the rumor and innuendo is that Landel was struggling with some addiction problems at this point and no-showed TV. And that was sort of all she wrote. Is that the word you heard about Buddy Landel?
Yeah. When I think about Buddy, I just get sad. Anybody that knew Buddy and was around him and could get past all the bullshit he was spewing walking around the locker room, and it was just egghead shit. It wasn't vicious stuff. It was just an attempt at humor, and some of it was really funny, but it was only funny because it was Buddy saying it. Buddy is probably one of the guys in the top 3 of missed career opportunities that just leaps off the page. Buddy was brought in, looked fantastic, excellent worker, really a smart ass that came across on his promos. I mean, he had all the tools, and they immediately attached him to Flair. Now I'm talking about the audience. You're a Ric Flair wannabe, or you're trying to be Ric Flair, because Buddy had that incredible blonde hair, thick, good head of hair on him. You sense a little bit of hair envy on this conversation, Conrad?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Yeah, there's a little heat there. But just him combing his hair got heat, and he had one of those big combs and all that. And Buddy was the whole package. What Buddy was, mentally at that time, however, was a child. Now, I did some traveling with Buddy because we started at the exact same week for Jim Crockett. I don't know how well that's known, but we were 2 of the guys that were recruited by Ric Flair to come in. We were part of that new evolution of their business. We started the same TV, and from day one, it was pointed out to Buddy that he was going to be pushed, and Buddy was making money from day one. And as Buddy got a little more involved, and was there a little longer, and his positioning changed and he moved up the card, he was making some money. And I remember riding with Buddy one time. I was going to pick him up. I went over, and Buddy's got a brand new Lincoln sitting in the driveway. He's got a brand new Mustang convertible sitting in the driveway. And I'm thinking, now we're kind of positioned the same, and I don't have 2 new cars sitting in my driveway. What the hell's going on here? So I go in, knock on the door. I go in. Buddy's wife says he's in the shower. He's running late. Come in, make yourself at home. Imagine that. Buddy's running late. So I'm just kind of, leaning by the bar area, and I look over, and there's a stack of probably 5 or 6 Jim Crockett Promotion envelopes, i.e. checks, uncashed, sitting right there on the bar. So Buddy comes out, and in those days, what the hell? I mean, I didn't give a shit. I done got hot now. We start our trip. I went, sorry, I know this is personal business. You don't have to mention it, or even talk about it if you don't want to. But what was all those stacks of Jim Crockett Promotions? Oh, hey, baby, that was just checks. I hadn't got around cashing them yet, baby. Just checks, just checks. Well, shit, Buddy, just really wasn't very mature on a finance level. Yeah, he had 2 new cars, but he had paid nothing down, and he was half the time making the payments, half the time he wasn't. That's just Buddy. That's just the way he was. Hey, I'll get around to it. I'll get, his checks alone had to screw up the accounting on Jim Crockett Promotions. Unbelievable. By not cashing those checks, I can only imagine. And I'm thinking these are probably $2,500 in that range a piece, times 5. It's a lot of money that was supposed to be going through their system that wasn't. But anyway, Buddy, from that point that he started making that money, I have a sense that his feeling was, I'm heading to the moon. I can do anything I want. And Buddy did do anything he wanted. And far be it from me to throw any stones about a guy's after hours stuff. None of my business. Buddy pushed it to another level. And Buddy started to be borderline not dependable. You never saw it with his work. That was the thing that enabled him to get chance after chance after chance, because once the bell rang, Buddy could go. He may have gotten there late. There might have been a hint that something was going on, that he wasn't exactly 100% straight, but he would go have a very good match. The audience would get with him. He may disappear after that match and not get there till the next day, right at showtime, but he would perform. And you got to pass sometimes in those days with different talent because of the plans and the overall money that you were helping to draw kind of overrides you being a screw up. And that particular day, Buddy was right in line to do an angle with Flair. They had built the angle. They had rubbed them up against each other. He was probably a week or two out from shooting the angle, wrestling Flair on major markets around Crockett's territory, which you can imagine what money he would have made. But we went to Atlanta. JJ knew where Buddy stayed. And Buddy didn't show up for TV. JJ started calling the room. He called the first time. Buddy answered, hung up. Sounded like he was sound asleep. JJ called back. Sounded like and I'm paraphrasing this story the way it went down, but it was something like this. Sounded like the phone got knocked off on the floor. So JJ thought, hey, I better go talk to Dusty. He did. Conversation went something like this. JJ, I'll give you one last chance. Go get his ass up, get him in the shower, get him here. If he's not here in an hour and a half, he's done. JJ went, was banging on the door. Buddy cracked the curtain. JJ, sorry, baby, I'm not going. Shut the curtain. That was the end of Buddy Landel.
Oh my gosh, what a story. Thank you for filling in the blanks. I mean, there'd been lots of rumor and innuendo, but I don't think we'd gotten that detailed of a story before about Buddy and sort of what happened here. Dusty would later award himself the title, and then he wound up losing it to Tully Blanchard on March 4th, 1986.